That tension that you felt, that wasn't me. That's your survival biology that's in this room right now. Welcome to my talk. Have you ever had an extraordinary life opportunity, and just before you experienced it, there was this little sliver of time, and then you blew it, and you said to yourself, why'd I do that? I know better than that. Well, if that's you, raise your hand. Well, great, because you're at the right place, because everybody on this planet has blown it just before they win. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is it that makes us blow it just before we win? And when I talk to people and they ask them, what's the number one thing that prevents you from winning? They say, it's me. Okay. Well, if it's you, what exactly are you supposed to do to fix it? And so raise your hand if when you blew it, you told yourself it was your fault. Raise your hand if that was you. So our survival biology first makes us blow it, and then we beat ourselves up for something that was not our fault. And I want to share with you just a little moment in time where everything was on the line. The Olympic gold medal was expected. And I got a call from an Olympic doctor. Jeff, oh my God, we got this Olympic athlete. He's favored to win the gold medal in a couple days' time. It's like he's starting to mentally melt down. Can you help? Blah, 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 blah. So I was talking with the athlete that afternoon, and you should have seen his face. His face was blank. His eyes were glazed over. His body basically turned to cement. He was like an empty shell. And this person that spent decades for this single moment, they were gone. So what happened? His survival biology reset his psychology from competing to win to competing not to lose. And I have seen this millions and millions and millions of times. And I've been someone that's helped people win gold medals. I've helped people win Emmys. I've helped people had extraordinary, successful world tours, yada, 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 yada. And I could tell you that in every discipline and in every life area, the pattern is always the same. When the stakes are at their highest, just before we win, survival biology rushes in faster than we can think, and it hijacks the moment. And you've probably experienced this. Have you ever said anything to anybody faster than you could think? Well, how exactly did that turn out? And so that's our survival biology at work. And living within us, we have basically two types of biology. Living in us, that's our survival biology, and then we have our performance biology. And these two biologies, they're on 24 hours a day. You can't shut them off. And they battle with each other every day of our life for control over our decisions and the actions that we take. And so with the Olympic athlete, that's what the problem was. And so if we look at our survival biology, remember, this is hardwired. You can't fix this. You can't shut this off. It's about one thing. It's about your survival. It doesn't care about your Olympic gold medals. It doesn't care about the quality of your life. It's only about survival. And because of that, it gets first dibs at every moment. It's faster than you could think. And what it does, it hijacks and suppresses and blocks everything that we need to have for us to be able to win. But then we have the second biology here, which is our performance biology. Our performance biology is calibrated towards achievement, growth, and excellence. But it is slower than our survival biology. So you see that we have a big problem here. It's that if survival biology is faster than we could think, exactly how the heck are we supposed to win? Well, I call that PEER, the Peer Performance Protocol. You prepare, you expect, you execute, and you repeat. So with the preparation, this is where you formulate and you train yourself to execute an execution phrase that's 10 words or less, And it's the one or two things that have to go right to block survival biology so that we can proceed forward to win. And when we do that, then that gives us the advantage to be able to move on and move forward. Because with the Olympic athlete that I told you about, I created an execution phrase for him, and his execution phrase was, don't change your warm-up, first 4 steps. That's 7 words led to Olympic gold medal. We have the expected. We should always expect that our survival biology is going to show up, especially in those moments, those critical moments where the risk is high just before we win. And with our execution side of it, you need to make sure that you have your execution phrase in place before our survival biology shows up so you can block it. Because remember, its job is to strip us away from everything that we need to have to be able to succeed. And so when we look at that, then we can become a perennial achiever and be an extraordinary human being in doing that. And then as it relates to the repeat of this is where you run every future goal through the protocol, because it's like if you don't have a protocol, survival biology is going to call the shots. It's just the way it is, you know? And if we have the peer process with those 4 things, then execution always wins. And so when we look at this idea of the execution moment, I want you right now to think of 2 things that can improve your life in the next 2 weeks. Just give some thought to that. Well, that's your execution phrase for the next 2 weeks and how you're going to start to convert your life to a better life. And so for me, my execution phrase for this talk here was, have fun and don't try to be perfect. And there's something much more to this in addition to what I've just said here, because there's only one of you in all of creation. There is no other you, which uniquely qualifies you to do something extraordinary that will enrich yourself, but also humanity. This is something that only you can do. But the success of that is determined by which biology is calling the shots. Because if it's your performance biology, then the improbable and the impossible become accessible. But if we're doing this through our survival biology, it always ends up in one place and one place only. And that's the it's my fault syndrome. And that keeps us really, really small. So we have to be really mindful about who we really are. And it's our survival biology. Remember, that's hardwired into us. So we did not ask for that. It's a property of the human experience. But it shouldn't define us. Because when we use peer, prepare, expect, execute, and repeat, when we do that, then we become a perpetual producer of everything good in life, and we have fulfilled our journey on this planet. And you become the performer that shows up, you're the winner that wins, and you're also the person that never blows it again. Prepare, expect, execute, and repeat. Done.